The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Ambassador Aliana Chen stood before the assembled representatives of 47 star systems. Her hands trembled slightly, but her voice remained steady as she presented Earth's plea for the third time in as many months. The Krell Armada will reach our system in 6 weeks, she said, projecting the holographic data streams above the crystalline podium. We have confirmed intelligence. They're bringing everything: dreadnoughts, carrier groups, planet. We're asking only for what the Council Charter promises: mutual defense. Councillor Vexter of the Aranai Collective clicked his mandibles in what passed for their species' version of a dismissive laugh. Your intelligence has proven unreliable before. Human, remember the Proxima incident? Aliana's jaw clenched. That was a misunderstanding of navigation protocols. Not enough, interrupted High Chancellor Morveth, her 6 eyes blinking in sequence. The Council has deliberated. Earth is a developing member. Your military contributions to date have been minimal. We cannot justify deploying the combined fleet based on unverified threats. Unverified? Aliana's composure cracked. We've sent you sensor logs, intercepted communications, strategic analyses, analyzers that could be fabricated. Vexter interjected smoothly. Your species has a documented history of deception and warfare. The Council cannot risk its assets on human paranoia. The vote was swift and brutal. 44 systems abstained. 3 voted against intervention. None voted in Earth's favor. Aliana stood in the emptying chamber long after the last councillor had departed, staring at the seal of the Galactic Council embedded in the floor. The words circling it mocked her. Unity through cooperation. Strength through solidarity. Lies, she whispered. 6,000 light-years away, Commander James Rodriguez received the quantum entangled transmission in the war room of the UES's Indomitable. His scarred face remained impassive as he read Aliana's message, but his knuckles whitened around the datapad. Sir. His exo-Lieutenant Park ventured. What are our orders? James looked up at the tactical display showing Earth's defensive positions pitifully inadequate against what was coming. Around him, his command staff waited. These men and women had trained for this moment, though none had believed it would actually come. The Council has abandoned us, James said flatly. We stand alone. The words hung in the air like a death sentence. Then we fight alone, Park replied, and around the room, heads nodded in grim agreement. James permitted himself a thin smile. Not exactly. Activate Protocol, Lazarus. The room erupted in shocked murmurs. Protocol Lazarus was the contingency Earth had prepared in secret, the program that had consumed 20% of their GDP for the past decade. The Galactic Council believed humans were technologically inferior. Still struggling with basic FTL drives and energy shields, they had no idea what humanity had actually been building. The Krell arrived exactly on schedule, their armada dropping out of hyperspace at the edge of Earth's solar system like a metallic plague. 300 warships, each capable of glassing a continent. Admiral Crackstar watched his tactical display with satisfaction. The humans had scattered defensive satellites and a handful of primitive warships near their homeworld. This would be over within hours. All batteries. Prepare to. Crackstar's order died in his throat. Space was tearing open. The gentle shimmer of standard FTL transitions, but violent ruptures in reality itself, and through them came Earth's true armada. The human warships emerged like vengeful gods. The Indomitable led them, but it was no longer alone. Behind it came 200 vessels of completely unknown design, sleek, angular predators bristling with weapons that made the Krell ships look like museum pieces. James stood on the bridge of the Indomitable, watching the Krell formation falter. All ships. This is actual. Remember what they said about us. Remember how they laughed. Show them what humans do when we're pushed to the edge. The Krell fired first. Plasma lances and kinetic projectiles screamed across the void. Earth's ships didn't bother dodging. Their shields, real shields, not the weak barriers the Council had seen, flared brilliant blue and held. Then humanity returned fire. The weapons Earth unleashed had been developed in absolute secrecy. Relativistic kill vehicles that struck at 99% of light speed, nanite swarms that dissolved armor at the molecular level, and the piece de resistance, quantum entangled, warheads that detonated simultaneously across multiple points in spacetime. The Krell flagship simply ceased to exist, erased so completely that even its debris field seemed confused about whether it had ever been there. All ships, James ordered calmly, weapons free, leave none. What followed wasn't a battle, it was an execution. 3 hours later, Aliana stood in the council chamber once more. This time, she hadn't been invited. She had simply arrived with a squadron of Earth's new warships in orbit above the Council homeworld. The representatives sat in stunned silence as she played the footage of the Krell Armada's annihilation. When it finished, she spoke into the quiet. You betrayed us. You abandoned us to die because you saw us as weak, as primitives unworthy of the Council's protection. Her voice was ice. You were wrong. Chancellor Morvith attempted to speak. Ambassador Chen, we can explain. I'm not an ambassador anymore. Aliana cut her off. That title implies I represent Earth's interests within the Council, but Earth is withdrawing its membership, effective immediately. You cannot. Vexter rose from his seat. The technology you've displayed it must be shared with the Council. It's the law. Aliana's smile was sharp enough to cut steel. I seem to recall something about the Council Charter. Mutual defense through solidarity, wasn't it? We offered cooperation. You offered abandonment. Consider humanity's withdrawal our final cooperation with Council policy. She turned to leave, then paused. Oh, and one more thing. The Krell weren't the only ones watching Earth. 47 systems saw us as prey. Now you'll all see us as what we truly are. Her eyes swept across the assembled councillors. We're humans, and we don't forgive. We don't forget, and we never ever stop. As Earth's ships departed the Council space, James sent a final message to Aliana. What now? Her response was immediate. Now we build our own council, one that actually protects its members. Behind Earth's fleet, the stars themselves seemed to burn brighter, as if the universe itself had taken note. Humanity had been tested, betrayed, and left to die. They had survived, and they would never be vulnerable again.